Welcome back to Half Moon's Picks. This is week 12 of the NFL. Thanksgiving is here. After that debacle last week with my wife with the shirt, I said this week, I went with my oldest daughter. I said, hey, can you pick me up a Thanksgiving Day shirt? It's the holidays. And as long as it has no green in it, I can use it on my show. So this is what I get. You know, I can't make this stuff up. Love them to death, but what can you do? So, this week I'm not only going to do my 4 usual picks of the week, I'm also giving you the Thanksgiving Day picks as well, instead of going with the leads. The leads went with 50-50. I don't want to show all that because sometimes I don't even bet on them. So I'm just going to go with the Thanksgiving Day picks, and hopefully we'll all come out a winner. So let's get this show started and get this show on the road. For the 12:30 game on Thanksgiving, it's Philadelphia traveling to my beloved team, Detroit Lions. Now, Philadelphia's had a 2-game losing streak, where Detroit's come a 2-game winning streak. 3 weeks ago, when Detroit had their bye, Martha Ford came out. She's 90 years old, never talked to the press at all. She just came with guns blazing. She just fired everybody, GM, president, all gone. And the first time she ever spoke to the press, and she goes, "This is not fair to our fans, and we're gonna continue, and we're gonna start winning." And I was like, wow, you know, she's 90 years old. What does she know? You know, she's goes to all the meetings, never talks to the press. But the only time she did, she made a statement. Since then, Detroit's won 2 games in a row, especially at Green Bay, somewhere we haven't did in 24 years. I stayed away from the Lions bets. I was like, I'm still rooting for them, but you know, how do you take her word for it? But now I'm starting to believe. Now I'm starting to say, hey, she has something to say, and then she said it loud and proud. The only time first time I've ever heard her speak before ever, and I've been a Lions fan since I was a little kid. So the only time she came out there, she said, we're gonna win, and here we are, 2-0 our last 2 games. So Detroit's the underdog by 1 point, so take Detroit at home to win against Philadelphia. The 4:30 game of the week, the second game of Thanksgiving, we got Carolina traveling to Dallas. And at first, Dallas was a favorite. And I'm like, everybody's like, even NFL wrote an article, why is Dallas a favorite? But now the tides have turned. Now Carolina is the favorite by 1 point. Tony Romo, I think he's like taped together. I seen him get hit a few times last week. Did not look all that healthy. I'm still going with the Carolina Panthers. I know everybody and their brother's probably betting on them, but what can you say? Until Dallas shows me they could beat a decent team. I bet on them the last few weeks. I finally got a winner last week, but this is it. You know, I'm not counting on Tony Romo anymore. I don't think he's got the weapons. Des Bryant has a big head. So I'm taking Carolina to beat Dallas by 1. And the third game of Thanksgiving, we got Chicago traveling to Green Bay. Now, since week 3, you know, the first 3 weeks in Chicago, they got blown out. You know, got blown out by Green Bay in Chicago by like 8 points, I think it was. Then Arizona, and then Seattle. But since then, since after the week 3, they made some changes, and Chicago has not lost a game by more than a field goal. And they've been doing pretty good. And you know, I know last year Chicago got blown out in Green Bay, but the year before they actually beat them in Green Bay. So take that with a grain of salt. 9 points is too much. I know Green Bay beat Minnesota last year, but they're still going on that downward slope. They came up a little bit last week. Chicago's just staying even. I like Chicago, 9 points. That's 2 scores for me. So I'm taking Chicago +9. All right, that's it for the Thursday game. We got Sunday at 1 o'clock. We got the St. Louis Rams traveling to Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati is favored by 9 points. And Case Keenum's out. He had a concussion. Most likely will not play. They'll bring back Nick Foles, the interception machine. And I think since Cincinnati's coming off that 2-game loss, they're hungry. They want to win. They want it bad. So I expect them to win big. So take Cincinnati -9. My third pick of the week, we got another 1 o'clock game. We got New Orleans Saints traveling to Houston. Houston's doing well. They won their last couple games, and they're actually tied for first place. I think they want to take this division. I think they're hungry. I think New Orleans is not a road team, never will be. I think they won only 1 game this year on the road. And here we got the Houston Texans battling, won that first place division over Indianapolis. So, and it's only a 3-point spread, so take Houston -3 over New Orleans. My second pick of Sunday, we got the night game. We got New England at Denver. And this is going to be a big matchup. Osweiler's playing, and he did fairly well. They barely beat Chicago in Chicago, which is not a bad feat, but it just shows you they're just an average team. They have a great defense. But the way I'm thinking it, New England likes to be ahead by 2 scores, always, and then they just chill and relax. So usually they'll get ahead by 14, 10 points, something like that. And if the other team scores, whatever it might be, they'll just stay on that lead and just down it and kill the clock. I've seen them do that at least 4 or 5 times this year. So if they'll get ahead by, say, 10, like Buffalo, and then they'll kick a field goal, they'll still win by 7. So I'm thinking they're going to at least win by 7 points. So I'm thinking New England -5.5 to beat Denver. And my number 1 pick of the week, we got Minnesota traveling to Atlanta. Like I said, I'm betting against Atlanta all day long. They're just shooting themselves in the foot. I did it last week. I got the Colts over Atlanta in Atlanta. Colts ain't all that great team. They got a backup quarterback here. And Atlanta just shoots themselves with the 2 pick sixes. I think Minnesota's got to take upon this. Now, they got Atlanta as the favorite on this, so I'm taking Minnesota +2.5 to beat Atlanta in Atlanta. I didn't go over last week's stats. There's my stats. I went 3-1 last week. I told you pick Tampa Bay +7, and they won 45-17 against Philadelphia. And I told you pick Indianapolis, and they won in Atlanta +7. So you could have picked them both straight up, but who knew, my third pick, I told you pick Chicago +1, and they lost by 2, man. So I lost that one. And my fourth pick, I told you pick Dallas on a pick'em game, and they did win. So I'm still well above 500. I only had 3 bad weeks for the whole year so far. 11 weeks, not too bad. Let's bring down the ATS picks and show how everybody else did. In first place, we got Davey Boy from Free Manny. He got 3-0 at 100%. Good job. He went from goose egg to 100 1 week. We got Gino 411 at 75%. Me, Sean P, Billy B, and the Hatbox Kid, all 3-1 at 75% as well. Blue Roof Bandit 2-1 at 66%. Geo 2-1-1 at 63%. Poet 2-1-2. Yeah, 2 ties, man. What are those odds? At 60%. Bridgewater Finest 8-6 at 57%. Robert Sports Show, Logan, Kid Blue, all 50%. And so if you're 50% and above, you're doing pretty good. There's only a handful that didn't make it. TJ, new guy to the list, 1-2-1 at 38%. Free Manny, 1-2 at 33%. Jeff Mysterio, 1-3 at 25%. Teddy Bear and the Football Guru, both with the big goose egg at 17 and 13% respectively. Alright, well, that's it for the week. I hope you get a lot of winners this week. Taking the man's money, as Gio would say. And I'll see you next week. Oh yeah, one more thing. I got some new equipment, so hopefully my sound won't be as bad next week as it is now. So we'll see how that goes. See you later. Peace.